Hey everyone, welcome back to White Sparrow Living, Luke 12:6. Today we're going to be doing a DIY from Dollar Tree and also some tree tours of trees that I've done this year and in years past. So we're going to start with actually 3 of the Dollar Tree Christmas trees, and we're going to put those all together, and we'll be using some either foam, styrofoam, or packing foam, whatever you can find, because it's not going to show. And I forgot to show you ornaments also, but some Waverly White chalk paint, your glue gun, wire cutters, scissors, and a tinsel stem for your buffalo check bows. And the first thing we're going to do is cut down the styrofoam so that we can have a base to put our tree into. So you want to just fluff out the trees. They're kind of Charlie Brown style, so there's not a lot to them. But I found if you put 3 of them together, it makes one nice big tree. So the basket that I'm putting it in actually was a DIY that I did, but I ended up not liking it for this tree, so I'll show that to you in a different DIY. But I'm getting all 3 of the trees stuck into the foam and then kind of just twisting some of the branches over and around the other 2 so that they're all having a group hug here, and it makes it a nice fuller Christmas tree. So now I'm going to paint the branches with the white chalk paint, and I always put it into a smaller container so that I don't have any waste, but just using a foam brush I'm going to apply it to all of the branches. And you want to be careful because it will have a tendency to kind of splash around, so things will become white polka dotted if you're not too careful. So here it is all done, and I think it looks beautiful and snowy. So now we're going to take some snow covering, and I'm going to use that to cover that foam base that we made. And even though it's in the basket now, it's going to actually just cover all of that foam when we place it into the piece that we're going to put it into. And then these are the ornaments that I got from Dollar Tree. They're not the real small ones, but they're not the big ones either. They're the middle-sized ones. So I'm taking my paint, and I first took the top off of the ornament and then placed it on top of a skewer, and then took that and stuck it into a piece of styrofoam so that it was a lot easier to paint those and twist them around so that you get full coverage. Now we're going to be using the Cameo, the Silhouette Cameo 3, and I just typed up some words of Christmas season, and I tried to find the shorter words, but I'm using the cut tool, and I put it on vinyl matte, and I'll be cutting that out of black vinyl. And on this, the sizes are about 1 inch, 1 inch. And then the font is called the Skinny, and you can download that font from defont.com, and I'll put that link in the description box. But after you get them all cut out, then you just pull off the top layer of the vinyl, being careful not to pull up the letters with it because they are a little thin, and so they will come up sometimes if you're not careful. So after I get those all the way weeded out, I'm going to take out the insides of the letters. And with this particular vinyl, it's got like a plastic backing paper, so it's not really paper, and it's very pliable, so you can actually just pull them off with your finger, and you don't have to use an actual weeding tool, so that makes it a little bit easier. So after I placed the transfer tape on top of all of the words, I cut them out and made them into small little words. And joy is a shorter word, but a viewer had recommended that anytime you're placing a decal on a rounded surface, it makes it easier to transfer it onto it if you snip in between the letters on both the top and the bottom. So I did that, and it did make it way easier. And then you just take the transfer tape off, and here's joy, and I think that looks really cute. But I found that you can also, after removing the backing tape or paper, that you can cut it in between those letters before you put it on, and that makes it a little easier as well. And for really long words, if you make little V's, if there's room between certain letters, then that makes it really easy to go all the way around. This is about halfway around the entire ornament, so that made it even easier. Now I'm taking some of the black and white buffalo check ribbon, and I cut strips of 5.5 inches and then just dovetailed the ends, and then in the middle grab it with some wire and pull it around and twist it to make a little, not a bow, but a little flap there. And for the larger ornaments, you can just stick the ribbon directly through the ornament hanger, but because these were so small, I had to do it with the wire and then go through the holder with the wire. And then just twist it on the back and put it onto the tree and fluff out the ribbon so that you can see the dovetail, and do that for the rest of the ornaments. And then for the top, I got this metal corrugated looking star, and I have that in my 99-cent store haul, and this was 99 cents. And so I just took off the jute twine, and then I rocked back and forth with the little loop to hang it so that it wouldn't be there. And then I'm just going to kind of shove it into the top branches of the tree. And I didn't even have to hot glue it. You could if you wanted, but it stayed in place pretty well. So now I'm going to make a little tassel for the top, and I just took some black yarn and wrapped it around a foam block 50 times. And before I started, I put a piece, about 5-inch piece on top so that I could pull it through, and that would be the top of, the tassel itself. And then just tied that in a knot. And then because it's foam, you can get your scissors under the yarn to cut the edges or cut the ends. And then I took another piece and wrapped it around to make it look like a tassel. And then once I got done with that, I cut off the bottom to make it even, and then place that at the top of the tree. Then I found this large candle holder lantern at the Goodwill, but I know they have these at Target, and I don't know if you've noticed, but Target sends all of their odd lots over to Goodwill, and so that's a score for us. So I just placed a buffalo check bow at the top, but I had already had this for something else, and the bow wasn't big or full enough for me, so I just added another full bow to it to make it even beefier. So now I'm showing you the form at the bottom and how I wrapped it with that snow. And then I placed an empty spool at the bottom, and it happened to be the exact size of the candle holder area. So I placed the tree right on top through the side, and then pulled out some of the branches to make it look like it was growing out of it, and made sure that my ornaments were all facing outward so you could read all the words from every side. So here it is all done, and I placed some of those wire battery operated lights in and through the branches, and they're showing kind of blue here in the video, but they're actually clear white, and it looks really pretty, especially at night. And I love how this turned out, and you can see that the spool just lifted it to the perfect height so that it fills the entire open area. So here's the Christmas tree that I did for my Uncle Fred at his house, and this is all done in lavenders and purples, and we have some bows and hydrangeas and some sparkly apples, and then a cute little dress form for the topper. And you can use anything for a topper. I've even used dishes before, a hat, anything that will go at the top of the tree if it's not too heavy, and you can get it so that the tree's not leaning or anything. And so I think this turned out really pretty, and he loved it, so that was all that mattered. And so the rest of these trees are just going to be ones from random houses and homes that we've done, and some of my own, and I hope you like it and it inspires you. my granddaughter Cadence the elf got worn out in this job here. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and if you did, I hope you'd give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. I hope everyone has a blessed day, and remember to always be the light. Bye.